we are and preparing to go home. Wait a minute, I thought this was home, but you speak of another place. We in the land of our enemies in captivity, but the gathering is taking place. Fire, 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 fire. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fire in my soul. So much fire. Fire, fire, fire. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fire in my soul. Shut up in my bones. Fire, fire, fire. Fire in my soul. The promises to Zion, they put fire in my soul. Ever since I woke up and finding what belongs to me, I want my crown and my robe like the saints of old, my legacy and history. Wait a minute, I thought you was the children of slaves, but you're telling me you're kings and queens. We the chosen of Yah, the apple of his eye, the original royalty. Fire, 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 fire. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fire in my soul. So much fire. Fire, fire, fire. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fire in my soul. Shut up in my phone. Fire, fire, fire. Fire in my soul. The promises to Zion, they put fire in my soul.
Rebirth, fire in my soul, all flames in the members. Ruach, contained in our members. Ruach, Jeremiah, cause it shut up in our bones. Can't sleep so deep like it came in syringes. Why? Cause our king is tremendous. Most high, serial contenders. Hallelujah, Abaya, Yahusha, Yahuda, Yahuda. Get them hands up in the sky.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Shut up in my phone. Fire, fire, fire. Fire in my soul. The promises to Zion, they put fire in my soul. Fire, fire, fire. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fire in my soul. So much fire. Fire, fire, fire. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fire in my soul. Shut up in my phone. Fire, fire, fire. Fire in my soul. The promises to Zion, they put fire in my soul.
Hey, shalom, y'all. Shalom. We'll be getting started soon. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Enjoy the music in the meantime.
If you come against the scriptures, man, we gon' rise up. If you come against our heritage, we gon' rise up. It don't matter, anybody get it, man. We gon' rise up, rise up. We rise up. If you come against the king, man, we gon' rise up. If you come against our Elohim, we gon' rise up. It don't matter, anybody get it, man. We gon' rise up, we rise up. Rise up and rise up.
Oh me, oh my. Atheists tweeting OMG. Life came to a standstill and then got real with them prophecies. Every time we done pass go, monopolize the monopoly. You give us 200, take 300, charge us for the property. Y'all gave us this authority. To be honest, got it honestly. Which means we are joint heirs. Siamese twins on a trampoline. We speak what he wrote. Melania's speech, Michelle's notes. Israel hit the ground running like a breech birth cause we got hope. Hold up, hold up. Yeshua is the Messiah. It's his will over our will, so we call that student driver. He calls us his song. Sorry, Mariah. Posted to carry these notes. Addressing all outsiders, we will rise up.
If you come against the scriptures, man, we gon' rise up. If you come against our heritage, we gon' rise up. It don't matter, anybody get it, man. We gon' rise up, rise up. We rise
colonies, walking like zombies who bred with lobotomies. Even preacher man and creature man, down low with them sodomies. And no, it isn't an oddity, rather the norm, so check the academy. They say if it ain't easy, I guess that's the academy. Rise, I'm getting it out of me, know that they lie to me, no longer lie to me. The shoe have flipped up the process, yeah, I molded the pottery.
Shalom, y'all, shalom, shalom, shalom. It's your boy Michael Israel here, and you are watching Spiritual Combat. And as you can see, the title of this morning's show is Finding Common Ground. And hey, shalom, Moshe. Good to see you in there. He put it's 4 a.m. here, but I'm up for my brewski. Shalom, family. Yay, shalom, man. It's good to see you in there, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Shalom, Cardina. Good to see you in there. Shalom, Brother Marcus. Good to see you in there. And like I said, the title of this morning's lesson or show is Finding Common Ground. And like I said, you're watching Spiritual Combat. I'm Michael Israel. And I just want to remind y'all, so I don't want to forget later, but make sure if you're on Facebook, make sure you go to the Spiritual Combat page and follow me, and go in the options block and make sure you select to receive notifications. And I'll be telling you that at the end of this lesson also. Because like I said, I get a lot of people who tell me, you know, when I go live, they don't get the notifications. And what I'm doing over here, so let me show y'all something real quick. All right, so here on my page, you know, like the page, of course, you know, click the like button. But here in the follow, what you got to do is you click see first and see all posts. And what you have to do is then click unfollow. Then you got to click see first again. And you got to click notifications on. You got to take it to all off. And then you got to go back to all on again. It's weird like that. And that's on anybody's page if you want to follow. So, but anyway, yeah, go ahead and do that so you can see some of the information I'm bringing out. Because in the coming days, I got a couple days off. I have a lot of interviews that I already have scheduled and that I am going to schedule. So make sure you do that. If you are on, if you're viewing on YouTube, okay? If you're viewing on YouTube, make sure you go to this subscribe right here and click on that bell so you receive a notification anytime I go live on the Spiritual Combat YouTube channel. So anyway, with that said, we're going to get into the title of this lesson. Because I want to discuss how I came up with the title to this lesson. And the way I came up with the title to this lesson is I saw a brother's video. This brother, Nathan White, who I'm working on getting on the show because he brought out some very good points in this video. His name is Nathan White. Real good video. Just go to his page and check his video out. It's about 14 minutes long. Really coming right down the middle. And he was talking about the importance of us reaching common ground. And he expressed some of his frustrations with stuff he sees in the Hebraic community. And I titled my video the same. He titled his, Can We Find Common Ground and Build Together? And I just titled mine, Finding Common Ground, because he just inspired me in a lot of areas. And like I said, he came from one direction with his and brought it to a certain area. And I'm kind of coming from another angle, but bringing it to the same area he's bringing that he came to, from, I guess, from a different angle or perspective, but still coming to the same common ground that he's coming to. And like I said, I'm going to have him on the show because he said some things that really resonated deep with me on a deep level. So, yesterday, I saw a lot of stuff going on online, in Facebook. Stuff was brought to my attention. The best way I could put it is that there was just a lot of activity on Facebook. So we'll go down the list, and it ties into us reaching common ground, us not getting distracted, all that. And it just right off the bat, in order for us to reach common ground, there has to be a standard. Okay? If there's not a standard, because the standard is the common ground. And if there's not a standard, we can't get on common ground. And unfortunately, there's people out there, or a lot of the nations, whatever you want to call it, don't have a standard. Or they have a wicked standard. Or they operate on a standard that's below the standard. You know what I'm saying? They operate below the standard. And, and my Ak Moshe, he put, too much division and not using the common, exactly the common denominator. Shalom, Brother Solomon ben Israel. Where do we find common ground among so many camps and doctrines? Exactly. And that's what we're going to get into right here. I'm glad you put that in there. Brother Solomon, you got Amos 3 Amos 3 verse 3. Go ahead and put that post the scripture in there, because I don't have time to look it up. Okay, so finding that common ground. And like I said, in order to find common ground, there has to be a standard. Well, what's the standard? The standard is the Most High's word, his laws, statutes, and commandments that he gave us. And understanding that because the reason a lot of us, and I'm coming both towards the Hebrew side and the Christian side. And I'm going to start with the Hebrew side. The reason why a lot of Hebrews have a hard time reaching common ground on some of the standards, because a lot of times they don't understand the spirit of the law, or to put it in better terms, the practical application of the law, the practicality of it. Like, how does that make sense in a practical day-to-day application of this law? What's the practical side of it? Okay. So a lot of times they're just applying rigid standards, and it can push a lot of people away. It causes a lot of divisiveness in our community. But at the end of the day, it's a better place to be than to have no standard at all. Okay? And we're working on that. But then on the other extreme, you got people that are just operating with no standard at all. Case in point of that is the dude that I had on the debate, Chris K. Williams. He's thrown the standard out. Go check out. He did a video on Dimitri Milligan saying, "Oh, this guy's a liar," and he denied Paul, when Dimitri Milligan came on and admitted that he had messed up, that he had got frustrated with the verbal jiu-jitsu that was going on, and basically misspoke and said, "Hey, Paul's a liar." He came on towards the end of the video and admitted to it. Then he did another video and admitted that he had got, tripped up with the verbal jujitsu that these debaters do to get people frustrated and then get them to misspeak and then hold them to it. But he had admitted that, hey, I messed up. That is not what I meant. Then he did a third time he came out and did it. And what does this dude do? He takes a sound bite of it and says, this is the fact. So the guy's a liar. Okay? And then Chris K.W. Williams, he told me he doesn't want it to be a debate or anything like that. He wanted to come on my show to reason the scriptures and get understanding with Elder Dimitri Milligan. He came on the show. He turned it into a debate. He lied again. With people like that, you're not going to find common ground. People like that, you got to leave them alone because they don't operate under a standard. Or if they do operate under a standard, they operate under a wicked standard, under Satan's standard. People like that, you got to be done with them. And I'm done. I won't have anybody else on the show like that. Like the last discussion we had, and let me say this also. Let me say this also. Elder Dimitri told before the show, he was on the phone with a group of us, and he told us, and I have witnesses on what he said. He told me, Michael, he said, we can't be on here trying to attack our Christian brothers and prove points to them. He said, I don't want to go on here and debate this guy. He said, I want to try to reason with him and win him over to this because he's in a doctrine of error. And I was like, I agree with you. He's basically saying he's not a debater. His heart of hearts is wanting to win this brother over and reason with him in the scripture. Okay? And he's proven that because I've had him on before and he did win a brother over to Torah in the keeping of law, statutes, and commandments. Chris K.W. Williams, it was about him. It was about him being right. It was about him winning and just looking right. He had no desire to seek the truth. And go look at the video. Go to Chris K.W. Williams' Facebook page, and he took a soundbite of the video, and look what he's done. He's just trying to drag this man's name in the dirt. And the brother and Elder Dimitri admitted, he said, I messed up, I got frustrated, and I misspoke. And he's admitted it on 3 different occasions. But you see the wickedness of these people. And the wickedness of a lot of these Christians on that level who have no desire to reason, who are caught up in this like debate and apologetic stuff, they almost perfectly line up with politicians. Uh-oh. Because that was another thing I saw yesterday big time. And I'm going to just go ahead and put this thing up here. Okay? If you out there, because I've seen a lot of going back and forth on the voting thing, which I could really care less if you get caught up in voting. But if you're pushing that thing as a solution, I'm telling you, me and a bunch of the brothers see how this thing's getting ready to unfold. If you get emotional and passionate about politics, it's gonna potentially destroy you down the road. Because the way this thing is gonna go, because this was just the middle election or whatever it is. Look, down the road, the way this thing's gonna unfold is if you get emotional about these politics, it could be detrimental to you. Because it's going to get so polarized by the time this next election comes, you have to navigate through this thing wisely. Like Morris said, he was at work, somebody asked him something about voting, He's like, man, I don't even get caught up in it. I'm about this book. You can't be. I seen people like complaining because people didn't vote for a Democrat or whatever. The Democrats is just as wicked. The Democrats is wickeder than the Republicans. Because the Democrats will say, hey, I'm for our people and racism and this, that, and the other. And in the meantime, they pushing for you to be a homosexual and to kill your child. And I see, bro, folks is like mad because you didn't vote for some black person who was running. But then you go look at what they stand for, and they want you to kill your child and to take it in the you know what, to be a gayfer. It's like you can't make this stuff up. The Republicans are better for us anyway. If you want to choose, well, you got to choose the best of two evils. I'm not choosing evil. Come on now. Let that sink in. And it's like, hey, if you want to go out there, like, if anything, I'm going to go out there and vote for the person who's going to openly oppress us the most. That's what I'm going to go do. So that they'll whoop our heads to really be motivated to come together as a nation. But we got it. That's not common ground, man. And this is all it is, man. You got a lot of people who watch too much TV because the witchcraft and wizardry on TV, like that's all it is. Anybody out there pushing that thing and voting and getting caught up in that is just watching too much television. It's simply that. Because the wizardry and witchcraft on that TV is on a whole nother level. Cambridge Analytica. Go just look that up. How they got how to manipulate you down to a science. They'll get a guy to run on, hey, they're racist and they don't like black people and this, that, and the other. And then behind the scene, they're trying to destroy you as a race with homosexuality and abortion and all that stuff like that. And our people dumb as a box of rocks. Because they go right for that thing, man. It's a mess out here right now. But I got to stay on topic on how do we find common ground. Okay? Because people were literally wasting time on, like, me personally, I thought everybody already knew that, hey, the politics is pointless. Because we've been, oh, well, they died for your right to vote. No, they died because they were killed by murderers who were possessed by demons. That's why they died. Martin Luther King died because the government wanted him dead because they're wicked. And you're going, and then you get them pushing people to get involved in that system. If our people knew what time it was, they wouldn't even be wasting time with that. There's not enough time to be watching TV and politics. The time, it's time now. Like, we're in the time. There's not time to be getting caught up in politics. Biblical prophecy is happening now. If you're trying to encourage people to vote, you're hindering God's purpose. God wants division. He wants this nation to divide so that we can unite. The more we unite, the more this nation's going to divide. I thought this was simple. And there's people pushing this that are educated in this Bible more than me. But again, I talk about the practical application. Okay? Let's see. You can't... you come in. Let me, real fast, I want to put this out there while I see a couple people are watching. Definitely tune in. Definitely tune in on I think it's going to be on the Shabbat, because my lesson on the Shabbat is I'm going to continue my lust series, because the 3-hour series show I did last week was about lust, molestation, and rape in a black community, and overcoming the lust and dealing with the pain and that comes with molestation and rape, and a lot of our people have experienced that. So we're going to continue that. It's going to be rape, molestation, forced sex in the black community. We're going to continue that discussion. I'm going to make sure I didn't leave. I got all the meat off the bone on that topic. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there. So make sure y'all tune in to Spiritual Combat, subscribe, follow, whatever, because we're going to continue and pick up on that this Shabbat in the morning around 8 o'clock, something like that. If you didn't catch that last one, check it out. Judah Mack came on, and Judah Mack was discussing how his babysitter who came over had him having sex with another 5-year-old girl when he was 5 years old, and how he had to deal with that and how that affected him. Is a heavy lesson this Shabbat, this past Shabbat. Make sure y'all check that out. Okay, so I put finding common ground, and I'm gonna tie this all in, so don't think I'm getting too far off topic. I'm gonna tie this all in to it was just, there was a lot going on yesterday, so to everything. So what I would say is a lot of these same people who are pushing candidates who are known in order to look, I'm not telling you something I don't know. Like, I've dealt firsthand with candidates running for major positions in government here in Jacksonville and stuff like that. But I've dealt firsthand with people running for Congress and stuff. Like, when I say firsthand, talk to them. It's all that. Okay? I see people pushing voting and fighting for voting, and more with that. Like, they're more against camps. They will villainize a camp more than they'll villainize a known wicked candidate who's openly pushing for the destruction of our people. GMS ain't even as bad as these candidates, man. Like, these people are blatantly and openly pushing for the destruction of our people. It's like it's on the ticket. And I see people fighting for them and mad because you didn't go out and put these people in office. Okay? And then like they get mad when our brothers and sisters sound the alarm and get all turned up over it. But I'm gonna tell y'all, man, I'm pushing it. I'm pushing y'all. Some of y'all, like, y'all see when I'm gonna be pushing. I push unity hard. And that goes to my Hebrews out there who, I don't believe in division, man. Y'all gonna see real soon. Like, I'm the brothers who deal with me closely know that to extreme level, I ain't throwing nobody in the trash. Like, I won't cut somebody off who's a brew or one of my brothers or sisters or something. We'll stay mad for a while. We won't talk for a while. Eventually, I'm gonna be blowing your phone up, and I'm gonna reach out, and we gonna hug and piece this thing up. But people like K-Dub and people that I see where their heart is just giving over to this thing, I'm not messing with you. Like, I don't see who's my mother and who is my brother, those who keep these commandments, or at least willing to have a discussion about it. But that thing that brother did, there's going to be no common ground with somebody with that type of spirit on them. There will be no common ground with any of these candidates pushing for this system unless they straight Hebraic, but they would never make it. But if there's a Hebrew candidate who come out talking about Torah, keep these laws, statutes, commandments, and who we are, I put my check box in. But I mean, we know from biblical prophecy that that's not going down. Like, we know how biblical prophecy is going to unfold. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. All of these candidates. Yeah, all these candidates are lawless. And they don't mind being lawless. Just like the Calvinists that came on here. Lawless. And will fight you and manipulate and do whatever wickedness he got to do to maintain the fact that he's not going to keep these laws. There's no common ground with anybody like that. And what the warning is, and I'm warning you, in the coming months, in the coming year, as the big election comes for president, it's not going to be okay to be emotionally invested in politics. It's going to hurt you. It's going to mess you up at your job. It's going to mess you up. It's going to be dangerous to go to political rallies or whatever like that. It's going to be dangerous. It's going to be so politically and divisively charged. Come out of my people, and it said choose some of her ways. No, it said choose none of them. Okay? All right. And we know these people, ain't none of these people about the book. All right. Let's see. So yeah, let me see what y'all saying here, man. I see y'all put a lot of comments in there. So Beat Brothers put, somebody asked me if I voted, and he told them no, and they acted like I said God isn't real or something. Yeah, because you know what, Beat Brothers, I'm glad you put that in there, because you know what, politics is a religion. That's another God. Politics is a religion. Go look up the definition of religion and God. These people, their emotions are more invested in that than in this truth. And I'm telling you, you think I'm lying. People will die. People are going to be dying over this stuff. When that main election come and they really ramp up that witchcraft on TV and really suck you in it emotionally, people are going to die over this thing. And it ain't, look, I don't care if you get mad at me. I'm trying to warn you. I don't care if you get your feelings hurt. I don't care if you unsubscribe from my show and stop watching me and they shut this show down. I'm mandated, I'm called to warn you to sound the horn. Okay? Yeah, man. Let's see, choose the best worst situation. Yeah, it's literally like they asking you, okay, what do you want to get shot with? This Glock 9mm or this Smith & Wesson 9mm? Like, which one do you want us to kill you with? Okay, choose one. And then our people are like, y'all need to choose the Glock 9. You gotta choose that, okay? You should at least, and there's silly people out here, lose me. If that's what you with, lose me. Because I can't be on common ground if that's where your heart's at. It's like, we can't build, okay? Like, there's some silliness out here, man. The common ground is, like, when I see with my op what's his name, man? Like I said, I'm gonna work to get this brother on the show. So here, I'll put him up here again so y'all can check out his video. When I see what my man Nathan White, where he was bringing out and where his heart's at, I like it. Now, he's coming from a different angle, though. I ain't got no problem with it. I know I could build with somebody like that, okay? I know I can. There's no issue. I'm working on getting him on the show. I like where he's coming from. But somebody like Chris K. Williams, who just dug in wickedness and manipulative and just a smear campaign on somebody, before he did that video did he call the elder and reach out to him and say, hey, blibbity blah? He didn't do that. His sole intent is a smear campaign, is wickedness. He pushing the same thing these candidates is pushing. You know what I'm saying? Let's see, man. Christ is our king. Vote. Yeah, exactly. That's this. Yeah, that's their empire. That's their nation. Our nation is governed by Christ. Like you can't fix stupid. I mean, you could just let them go vote. I mean, you can't fix it. Like, come up out of that thing, man. I thought it was simple, though. Like, I was thinking, hey, this election thing gonna go by. I didn't think I was gonna see anything about it on my timeline. I didn't think I was gonna hear about election or anything, because I thought, okay, well, everybody know this, you know. It's just like I don't see nothing about, you know, how to season ribs and bacon on my thing coming up. Hey, this is a good bacon dish, you know. I don't see stuff like that going. I thought it was going to be the same way for the election. And I was shocked. It was like the closer we got to it, the crazier it got. So I could only imagine the presidential election. People going to be like, we got to get Trump out of here. The Most High put Trump in here to divide this place and bring on World War III. Like, let's vote him back in this election. That's what I'm gonna be pushing for. I get so-called brews attacking me if I say that. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, you can't make this up. I'm trying to read y'all's comments, man. I don't think I'm gonna be able to keep. Okay, so where in the scriptures did y'all ever say not to support your community? Sister, the politicians do not support our community. They tell you they're trying to destroy our community. You show me a candidate that is not supporting the destruction of your community. These candidates are telling you to be a homosexual and encouraging you to kill your kids. And if they were supporting our community, then we would have been better off now. But the numbers show you. Y'all, ooh, man, watch Issachar's video. Go online, type in Issachar, go to his channel and watch the video Issachar did yesterday. He shows you mathematically how the Asians over the past 10 years or whatever, the Asians' voting turnout has decreased. And it's a direct correlation to the Asians' income production and success and business rate increasing. In the 1950s, before we had the right to vote, and listen, in the 1950s, before we had the right to vote, we were better off. There were more black businesses. There were more black doctors. The black family was more intact. More than any other race, the black families were intact. Okay? There's a direct correlation. Would you say you did say that I was going to be held accountable for saying yes to building schools, parks? Sister, building schools and parks, a public fool system, the schools is with. I'm trying to listen to what I'm doing. I'm trying to get my wife to stop working by this summer. And it's going to hurt us financially big time. But I want her to not be working so I could get my kids out of the public food system. Okay? Let's see what you said. My point is you need to study more because that is not sin in the Bible. Okay, but homosexuality is a sin. Abortion's a sin. And that's what these candidates run on. Look at what they run on. Okay? You said, brother, I haven't owned a TV for over 10 years. It's a waste of time. How about reading the book? I didn't say you did, sister. So wanting my community to, if you, okay, let me put it to you like this. The Chinese and the Indians from India don't vote. They don't turn out like us. But their communities are way better. The only way you're going to build your community is through unity. Instead of going out voting, you get together with your sisters and start a school and start educating these kids. Start homeschooling these kids so that their parents, when they go to work, they can leave their kids with you to educate them. That's how you build your community. Start cooking meals so when the sisters get off of work, they can swing by your house, pick up a plate, give you $10, and go home and eat a healthy meal instead of going to McNasty's. That is how you build a community. You've been brainwashed into thinking some wicked senator is going to do anything. They are running on the exact same stuff they've been running on. It don't work. That's biblical. You see what I'm saying? It's simple. But it's like where we've been brainwashed so hard, we can't see that. You put, that is not voting for a person. That's asking questions to improve your community. No other we don't need politics. All these other nations, because the election thing is for the Greco-Roman, the Europeans, the so-called Europeans, Greco-Romans, whatever, these people. There's a Chinatown in every city all over the planet. And they don't get that by voting. They get that by coming together with their own people, just like the Bible tells us to. If what you said works, then from the 1950s when they gave us the right to vote to now, we'd be shaking and moving. No, we worse off now. Our kids are running around like hip hop is like gay now. Creflo Dollar, I always say it, man. Creflo Dollar in a little over a month raised $60 million to get a plane. That's one church in one area. It ain't about money or anything like that. It's that we've been so-called integrated. But it ain't integration, it's called separation. They separated us from being a nation. This thing's simple. So you put, okay, so please tell me how voting for roads to be repaved, schools to be built, parks in our community, and etc., all questions that are asked on the ballot is voting for a person. Okay, let's say they build a school, they pave the roads, they build a park. Okay? Explain how that helped you. Explain what that did. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? All right, so you put, listen, my family has 4 community centers and I have been working in them since I was a child. I am fully aware community work because I do it every day. You're mixing up my question and reading them out of order and are missing what I'm trying to say to you. Well, this is what I'm trying to say. If you want to see an immediate result, you ain't gotta build a community. If you want to see an immediate result in us as a nation, it's coming together as a nation. You don't need to have nothing to do with these other nations and their system that benefits them. Okay? There's something everybody can do to okay, well, that helps to build up the community. Why are we in worse shape now? Because this is what's been getting pushed. If that helps to build up the community, the voting and all that stuff like that, then why are we worse off now than we've ever been in all times? Like, we're worse off now than 10 years after slavery ended. All politicians swear under the Constitution that helps keep us in the condition we are in. We have candidates that black people agreed on, and we have not seen the results we are looking for. And everybody, it's like they tell you these people are liars. You see the system is wicked. You see the whole system that you're encouraging. It hasn't done anything for the communities. It's tearing us up. The Bible says for us to come up, in order for us to come up, it's going to be us keeping the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments and coming together as a nation. That's not asking their nation to build a park for us. You see what I'm saying? It's at best, it's just you're wasting your time. You could be focusing on directly doing stuff. Like, we don't need a park or a school. You could look at Ahaya Academy. Look at Ahaya Academy. Them sisters got together and formed their own school, and they're getting ready to set it up, and boom. You could get 3 sisters who got all this free time on their hand to come together and start their own little daycare. So now we don't have to bring our kids to some other nation to care for our kids. That's important. You don't need to go to them to do it. Listen, I didn't say every community. I said my community, and they are doing really good. Okay? We need gardens. All right. We have a covenant with the Most High, born in it. We don't need to make another covenant with wicked kings. Yeah, I mean, and I'm talking about, yeah. Like, if you can't see, like, what's like the thing everybody says? The thing everybody says is, the thing you hear everybody saying is, what's the first thing you hear about Canada? Oh, they lie. Oh, they promise this, that, and the other, and nothing happens. It's like, what our people have to realize is, like, you don't need to go through somebody to build your nation. You don't need permission to play team ball. You don't have to go through this system to do that. So you wrote, I personally can't do it by themselves, and that where the problem is, too many of our people making excuses and don't want to put in the work, but want other people to do it for them. You can do it by yourself. It only take one person to set the standard, set the example. Like I said, like, sisters could start cooking meals. You could start making plates and put it on Facebook that you're selling them. That's just a simple idea I just came up with. But there's plenty of needs in the community that would have a direct impact. You know, it's just, you got to look to see through the witchcraft, man. That's why, I mean, sister, if you think that's the solution and you can show me in the Bible where that's the solution, more power to you. But, I mean, everybody else sees clearly that it ain't going to do nothing. These people are, if you deal with a politician, they are verbal wizards, verbal witchcraft. They beguile simple people and inspire emotion. And they out there, when Obama got elected, they was out there crying. And then fast forward 10 years later, we gayer as a race than we ever been. And brothers died from him getting in office and pushing homosexuality. They're like, oh, I could be gay. And then 4 years later, they got HIV. Then 5 years later, they dead. It says, come out of her, my people, and choose none of their ways. They're deceivers. It's simple. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, but if you watching TV, it's gonna mess you up. So you said, sorry, one person can't. Well, I'm telling you, one person can do it. Jesus was one person. He did it. All it takes is one to be the example. And then all of our other people will get behind it. Once again, I am not talking about voting for a person. I'm talking about answering questions. If that's where you if that's where you think the answer's at, so be it. But it's not there. It's at best, it's just kind of wasting your time. But I tell you what, I mean, something I can say with boldness is that just watch and see. Because when you really get into watch Josh Cullins, man, I've been begging Josh to just do a whole message on the voting, because we know that the voting and this government and all that, the division in it is biblical prophecy. Is this nation becoming divided? Is us needing to come out of it and come together as a nation. But our people, and that's something I need to do. I need to do a lesson on what being a nation actually is. And I think that would clear a lot of this up, where you could see how efficiently and how quickly you could bring change when you come together as a nation. Okay? Somebody said, if I'm not mistaken, those nationalities come together because they're immigrants. They move from their country and they move together, like live together, because there is no comfort in that yeah, I mean, wait, in that, there's no, okay, you put a lot, I can't read all that, Asha. But yeah, brother put politicians' words never stand. Yeah, and what I'm saying is, and that's why I got to do a lesson on what being a nation is, because if you understood what being a nation is and operating as a nation, you'd see two things. You'd see, number one, why it makes so much sense and how efficient it is and how it brings immediate change, how it's prophesied, and how our wake up, like I said, I got some brothers coming on this weekend. They're going to talk about, they're going to show you in scripture how we're going to wake up and how we're going to come together as a nation. And it's not going to be through building parks and community centers or voting for good stuff in our community for the local government to do. That's not how it's going to come. It's going to come straight through the Most High Yah and through our mindset changing. And for us realizing we separate from them, we do our own thing. And if you think I'm a good model of what I'm saying is, look at these Asians. Look at how the Asians function. That's a good model of how this thing is going to go down. Like the Asians, they don't get involved in voting. And the Indians are even less involved in it. Like I said, I've seen Indians from East India, from India. I've seen them get in car accidents and not even call the cops. They just worked it out amongst themselves. Didn't even get the insurance involved. So it's like they have, by design, brainwashed us into being reliant on their system and thinking that, beguiling us through their wizardry that, oh, this is going to fix it. Because the way he said it sounds good. When you read that book, you'll see what really works. Okay? All right, so you wrote, I have spoke to Josh about it already, and even he is looking into the unregistered ballot. Will you just vote on questions to build your community? Why do you have to vote to build your community? When the Bible says you're going to build your community with your brothers and sisters in this truth. So why are you going to some other nation and using their system to so-called build your community, which we have proof never works? We have proof it actually hurts us. It says choose none of their ways. Okay, I'm not talking about the politicians for the third time. Whoa, come on now. I'm not talking about the politicians either. I'm talking about anything that got to do with them. I'm talking what I'm trying to get through, and that's why, like I said, I'm gonna do this lesson on what a nation is according to the Bible. I'm talking about when you realize what it is, you realize that it's totally pointless to even worry about their whole thing. It hinders it. Okay? I'm not talking about, I'm talking about now, not later. These kids need somewhere to go instead of hanging out on the corners, and a community center provides that for them. Okay, some of the kids cry because they don't want to go home. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, this is what we don't understand. This is what you're not understanding. And this is what the key brainwashing is. The key brainwashing is you thinking you need them to do something in order to alleviate this. You can take action in an hour today and make a bigger impact than telling people to get all emotional about politics or voting on things in their community and all that. It's like, if you want to use your energy more efficiently, rally your people around this book, around the Bible and what it says, and don't get caught up in stuff in your community, in your local government that you got to do in your community. Like, that is what's going to bring the immediate change. And this is what they're afraid of. Like, by design, see, I ain't got time to go into everything. By design, they got it set up that they have to have you thinking this way in order to keep this thing going. And that's something you're going to have to do research on. But like I said, I'm going to do a lesson on it. You put, you don't understand what I'm saying to you. So out of respect for you, I'm going to just stop now. Yeah, all I'm saying is the most efficient way to spend your time is pushing the Most High's truth. Their system don't do nothing for us. It's never, their system has only destroyed us in every way. Period. If you want to see immediate, effective change, look in this book and it will show you how to do it. And answering yes or no questions about getting a community center built in your neighborhood ain't the most efficient way. It might feel like it emotionally. It might look like it logically, the way they say it. But it's about this book. Okay? Because in doing it, man, I could go into so many ways and show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, man. But anyway, yeah. I mean, y'all going crazy in the comments. So yeah, but it's like, and I'm gonna make sure. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a lesson on what a nation is, and when I break it down, you'll see that it's like this whole awakening is what? It's waiting on you. It's waiting on you. The reason you see China building up and Russia building up and all this stuff I see militarily, because I'm involved with military stuff, so I see what's going on the military front. I see what's going on with the division in this nation. The more we unify, the quicker their political system causes their division and all that. But it's what? We got to wake up and stop buying into their deceptions. You see what I'm saying? If you're going to vote awake. You know what I'm saying? Vote to wake up. So, yeah, man. You said if that was true, then why are our children so out of control then? We have got to live in reality and stop making excuses. Why are the children out of control? Well, they come from broken families. Why are the families broken? Huh? Who put those policies in place to break the family up? COINTELPRO. They've come out and admitted that they had an agenda to break up the black family. The media brainwashes our women into being rebellious to the men, into thinking they don't need the men. The media and the political system feminizes the men and turns them into homosexuals. The exact system that you have faith in is exactly why your children are running around crazy. And that's spiritual combat. And other brothers see this and realize we got to come back to the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments to fix this. Not vote yes or no on ballots. It's pulling your emotion out of their political witchcraft. It's all in the book, man. And it's written. It was written. And in the end time prophecies of us coming together as a nation, it don't say, and thou shalt vote yes on community centers, and thou shalt do this. No. It says we're going to come together, be like-minded, come together as a nation, and begin to love our brothers and sisters, have patience with them. The marriages will begin to working on the marriages, showing women their proper area that they need to be in as a biblical woman, and showing the men their proper area they need to be in as biblical men. It don't say nothing about voting for some wicked Democrat or voting for, say yes to this community and all that. They've been doing that for years. All right, so she deleted every comment she put on there, so I guess she done on that. Yeah, every comment she put in there, she just deleted it. So I take it she don't like what I said. See, they put, our children are out of control for several reasons. TV, music, video, lack of parenting, and not knowing who they are. I would say our children are out of control for one reason. We don't know who we are. And then we end up watching TV, music, video, politics. You know, a community center, now you got a place for the out of control kids to go. I mean, it's not, it's at best, it's a Band-Aid solution. Okay? Sometimes you just have to stop typing and listen. Talk. Yeah. So, anyway, man. Thank you, brother. Moshe, that's good. I'm reading that. He said, as for my people, children are their oppressors and their women rule over them. And these same people who are rushing you to get to the voting booth and stuff, a lot of them won't speak to the fact that the women rule over us and children are the oppressors. They won't talk on that. But they're going to tell you to vote or check yes on some block or something like that. Oh, my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths. Hey man, I've been talking this whole show, but like I said, the Most High word just, I can't come on with anything after that. Like if you can't see it, if you can't see that, I don't know what to tell you. And it's like the stuff where I can't see how it's going to manipulate us. I know from their history that there's poison behind it somewhere. But some of our people, they buy into the emotional dreams. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. A lion put, is there a box on a voting ballot to that he could check that says who we truly are? He put, nope, not even an option. Yeah. Well, but shut all the, and because we were, yep. So yeah, y'all put a lot of comments in there, but you know. She put, it's because of the parents failing to do their job as a parent. And why are the parents failing to do their jobs as the parent? Because they've been deceived by this society. They, like I said, they tell the women that they don't have to be in their subjugated biblical position. And they tell the men to let the women rule over them. And they tell, and in society telling the women, well, you independent, you don't need no man, you a strong black woman and all this stuff. And then the women, but yet the new face of depression is black women. It's all a deception. The reason they came out and said it. The government declassified the documents and came out and said that they had an agenda to destroy the black family, to pull the black man out of the house, to kill our kids off with abortion, and to bring this destruction. You see how they funded the hip hop. That's all they put in front of us. They don't have any intent for us to improve. And it's like we can't see for the life of us. So, and the Bible tells the older women are supposed to be encouraging the young married black women how to love your man, how to respect him, how to function in that. The black elders like me are to be encouraging the black men to, okay, this is how you lead. This is how you be responsible. This is how you get your lust under control. Like, I don't care how many community centers you build. If you got a hard-headed black woman who's buying into this culture, will never win. If you got a man who's full of lust, who's molesting black women and can't control himself, and nobody's speaking to that and how to get that lust under control, that demon of lust that's destroying our community, I don't care how many parks and schools and money you hand out or whatever you do, you will never fix us as a race. And that's book. That's in the Bible. So focus your energy there because there's so much work that has to be done. There's no time to be watching TV and getting caught up in politics or voting yes and no on blocks. This is arguing with people like that, this is emotional. There's emotional strongholds that we got to overcome to realize, look, this is the reality. Because y'all seen that show I did, that lesson I did last week about, the lesson I did on the Shabbat about lust and molestation among our black women and men and rape and forced sex and all this messed up stuff that's happening. I don't care if you got 20 community centers in your neighborhood. When that stuff's happening and ain't being dealt with according to what the Bible says, you'll never build a nation. Never. Because our black women are hurt and they're harboring hurt and unforgiveness towards men. And the men is full of lust. But who talking about that? Ain't nobody talking about that. Nobody talking about the real daggone issues going on out here. That's what get me pissed off. Wake the heck up. Stop being, I'm telling you, that's being stupid. Yeah, if y'all want to get on board and do something, deal with it. Let's get that going. You seen the brother came on here and told y'all, he said he was having sex with another 5-year-old girl since he been 5 years old. And he said that messed his mind up. You ain't never... And the women coming on saying, yeah, they have been molested at all these different ages, end up getting on drugs, end up becoming lesbians. Y'all saw all the... Look, I teach on this, and I get so much people coming at me for counseling, asking questions. I ain't got time to be worrying about voting on some community center because people dying now over this stuff. This is where we got to focus if we want to come together as a nation. Wake up. All y'all hurt. All y'all women, more than half of the women have been raped or molested by the time they 20. Deal with that. You'll find dealing with them demons, you don't have enough time. When you dealing on what that does to your mind, to your spirit, you don't got time to be worrying about who's running for what. Once you get that, because Satan knows, once you get that mind right, he knows you a weapon in the army of Yah. Focus there. Why, these same people pushing all that, you don't hear them say nothing about the elephant in the room for the Hebrew Israelite community. And that elephant in the room for the Hebrew Israelite community is lust, rape, and molestation. And a stubborn stiff neck not being willing to look at these dark areas in your spirit that you done hid away. Let's deal with that. Let's deal with that. Yeah. And she asked, when have any of you worked in the community, showed the kid on the corner that someone cares about them? That's what we telling you. A lot of people can't even do that because they soul and spirit so twisted up because they ain't dealing with the demons inside them. Like, why are people, you putting the cart before the horse? You going 20 steps ahead of, look, if you have crazy and you a child molester and you can't control your lust, now you're going to build a community center and he going to go down there and what? Be touching all them kids. Showing them he care about them. Let's make a push to get our minds right first. Make a push to get your mind right. Because all you're going to have down at the community center that the government just built in your neighborhood is child molesters. We got to get our minds right. Get your mind right. That's the answer. That's the elephant in the room. Y'all saw when I did that lesson, I couldn't even read all the comments where people saying it happened to me. I was molested. You know, I got raped. All that. All the people coming out saying that. If you don't deal with that hurt, you ain't gonna build nothing. And that's book. So once that get built, once we get that right, everything else naturally falls in place. Once you get your mind right, everything else falls into place. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. So, you know, you said you wake up. I'm not surprised that you are changing the subject and just keep talking about the community center because you probably have never volunteered to work in one to see what's really, I don't know what to tell you. You know, all I'm saying is we need help. We need people to focus their energy on the real problem in the black community. And it's not community centers or voting or saying yes and no on questions. What I see is a lot of our sisters and our men who are dealing with demons because things have happened to them at young ages. And the last thing we need to advocate is building a bunch of community centers or anything else. What we need is something simple. We need men and women speaking up about this consistently. But you go on a lot of these people's Facebook page and it look like the Democratic Convention page. It needs to look like a rape or molestation help center. That's what your page should look like. Make your page look like that. That's where the focus needs to be. That's where the problem's at. That's where mine's getting ready to be. If you don't like it, keep it moving. Because I can't put no more on it. So yeah, y'all turning up on there. I haven't worked at a community center, but I've been doing a lot of counseling lately since I started bringing out the issue. I've been doing a lot of counseling lately for people dealing with sexual abuse or men struggling with lust. Okay? I've been doing a lot of that. There've been people working in the community centers and some of the people been raped and molested in the community centers. So again, don't put the cart before the horse. Okay. I don't know, I don't know what else to put on it, y'all. I hope some of y'all understand where I'm coming from. Exactly. You can do that. But I mean, and it ain't all, and I understand that too. It's not, this thing is not one-sided. It's not just, this thing, different people are. They got different callings and stuff like that. But I know where the labor is plenty and the workers are few is, and where there's a lot of destruction. I know what's at this, one of the sources of a lot of why you see a lot of single black women, or a lot of you see a lot of men not involved in their relationships, or women not involved in relationships, and the kids are all messed up and all that. It boils down to that. Just simple, by, like that verse says, just by speaking the truth, talking. Like this weekend, what I was teaching on about the lust, rape, and molestation, a lot of people were like, just speaking that helped them, this truth. Putting it out, being a voice of this truth. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't that how the book say we're going to come wake up? Yeah. Anyway, y'all, I got to wrap it up. And I can't read all these comments. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not. All right. So anyway, I'm not. Y'all, I'm gonna wrap this up. Maybe this Shabbat we'll pick it up. We'll pick it up. Y'all, I'll entertain your questions. Definitely check this brother out, what he's saying, finding common ground. We need to find common ground according to the Most High's word, not reaching out to any other nation or any other system. That's all my point is. And that's why we've been getting the same thing we've been getting. You know? The only thing that's going to work is this word. Period. Anyway. Anyway, I am going to, I'm going to wrap this up. I got to get to work. Y'all made me late. But it don't matter. And I got a couple days off coming up. So, yeah, I'll be doing, I'm going to have a brother coming on teaching about life insurance here soon. I'm going to have another, I'm going to try to get Brother Nathan on here. We're going to talk about finding common ground. He brings a unique perspective. Like I said, Saturday morning, we going right back into lust, molestation, and all that. Because that's like at the core. That's like one of the elephants in the room. We slamming right back into that Shabbat morning. I'm going to have some brothers on here very soon talking about end-time prophecy. And when I say end-time prophecy, they're going to talk about current end-time prophecy, current prophecy that's being fulfilled real time, and short-term end-time prophecy, what's coming right down the road. I think that's going to kind of show you why I'm the way I am and why I'm saying what I'm saying now. So it's going to be a lot of good things. And yeah, so that's what we got coming. I need y'all to subscribe and follow me on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, follow me. Make sure you receive the notifications. I showed you how to do that earlier. Subscribe if you're on YouTube to Spiritual Combat. YouTube and Facebook, same thing. And with that said, y'all, I got to wrap this up. I got to go out, get to work. And I appreciate y'all tuning in. And shalom, y'all. Not mad at none of y'all. It's all good. I'm glad the conversation was able to come up. Shalom, sister. Talk truth with Shwani. Shalom to you. Ain't no hard feelings or anything like that. We good. This is a good conversation, and we're gonna continue to have it. You know, I hold no ill will. I'm glad you voiced your concerns and your understanding. I ain't got no problem with that. Anyway, with that said, y'all, appreciate y'all tuning in, and shalom, y'all.